Here she comes, the lady. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning here at Nevada, USA. The first day after the election, midterm election, okay? Today I just made a few lists that we are going to talk about. And of course, if Miss Mercedes have more, of course, it's her talk today, not mine, okay? First is we talk about the result, okay? Also a little bit if the result is good or bad for Trump or for China or for anybody else. Then we talk about a little bit of what is Senate and what is the House. Because I believe that there are many Chinese people watching our program too. So they need have like a democracy 101, right? And we'll talk about impeachment. Because so many Chinese get excited. Oh no, Trump will be out of office, you know. Then we'll talk about the trouble to Trump. What kind of trouble that they can make to Trump. And they will talk about the relationship to China. You know, what the Republicans want and what the Democrats want. Okay, what the difference they want. And we're also going to talk about a little bit about white America. If America is white at all. Okay, and we'll talk about the Chinese people's concern and why the Chinese people are so interested in the Americans' vote. Okay.
Maybe
then,
because they don't have their own vote.
Yeah, we'll talk about this later, okay? And we'll also foresee 2 years later if Trump will be still in office or not. Okay? Then finally, I will give a little talk about the best way for China to win. To win-win. I mean, China-US win-win situation. Okay, now we start to talk about the result. What is the result now?
Well, the result is that the Republicans are now the majority in the Senate, but it's like 51%. And the Democrats took the House.
Okay.
By about the same margin. It's pretty much split down the middle, but still the majority is Democrat.
Okay, so it means that Trump maintained his Senate.
Yes, he maintained his Senate.
Okay, but the Democrats took the House.
Yes, the Democrats took the House.
Can you tell us a little bit orientation, what this difference between these two places?
Okay, well, the Senate is the overall state representatives. There are 2 from each state, so there are 100 senators in the United States. Okay? And in addition, the House is made up of 435 people because they represent districts inside each state.
Okay, let me put this way. In UK, it's called House of Nobles.
That is the Senate.
Senate. Okay, so they represent the rich people.
Traditionally, that's how it's come out, yes.
But geographically, they represent the big region, state.
Yes.
Okay, in China, we call it province. Okay, so the House is House of Commons.
The House of Representatives is what we call it.
Okay, House of Commons in UK means for ordinary people. So that represents small areas, like cities, like a county. That's why they have more.
They'll have what they're called districts, actually, is how they break up the representatives' seats. Districts.
Okay, in Chinese we say 市, 县, 镇. Okay, small places. But senator, 参议院 is for the 省各直辖市各省 difficult. Okay.
Okay. What I wanted to point out is that although the senators, there are only 2 for each state, there are 100. The reason that there are so many Congress so many in the House of Representatives, is because they are in proportion to the population. Okay, so they don't have to do with area, they have to do with population. So like New York has a lot more because even though it's smaller, it has a lot denser population. So they have more because they have more people to represent.
Okay, how the system works. For example, I'm an ordinary person here, I live here, but I have something that I want to tell Trump. That in China, the only way you tell to tell Xi Jinping is to block their car. If they see Xi Jinping's the car is coming, I just block. I have something to say to you. Otherwise,
people do that here too.
Okay.
Sorry.
But normally, how people can.
I just want to point out that Trump's not the only cowboy in America.
Okay.
And we got cowgirls too.
Yeah,
Okay. So how would they tell him? Now, okay, I just want to give a rundown of when we vote, okay, we don't just vote for people. We also vote for what are called referendums. And they're issues that are also up for submission to, like, for consideration to become laws. Okay? Because what happens here is that the people who are the House of Representatives, they are our representatives. That means that we vote for them based on the issues that they're supporting. In particular, some of the issues that were up for, that are in like hot debate right now, nothing has to do with China, okay? For the representatives. Not one thing on the ballot had to do with China. It all has to do with domestic and local things. Okay, a lot of the Congress people elected support a $15 minimum wage, $15 per hour minimum wage. That's a good thing. Okay, I agree with that. And also gun control, stricter gun control. That is a really hot topic in America, and it always has been from the very beginning.
Wait. $15
an hour.
It means 100 renminbi 1 hour. 100多块钱1小时. Wow.
And they want that to be the minimum wage for, like, say, the clerk at the store. Because that's what they figured out is that's the minimum living wage where you don't have to work another job to support your family. You can actually work your job and come home, pay your bills, pay your rent, pay your mortgage, whatever you need to do, and still be able to breathe at the end of the day.
So it means that the minimum wage 就是不管你做什么最少要100块多钱1小时. Wow, that's a lot.
It's actually really necessary. Right now, it differs in different states. Some states have $10. Some states have $12. Okay? And I believe some have already passed through the $15. So it all depends on what your state's issues are.
Okay. Understood. Okay. So means that if you have some suggestions, you have something against Trump or against anyone, you can always talk to your local representative.
You can. That is really, really common. People can get in contact with their representative very easily. They write them letters. They go and see them. And they tell them what's going on. Maybe they had a situation in their life and they want to put something into Congress to pass a law or start a referendum. And it's really common. The average person does have a say. It's just knowing that you have a say and then take that step. They're just a person. They're there to serve you. That's their job. Their job is to represent you, and your job, you have to speak up. No one knows. They can't read your mind.
In China, we call it 上访. 上访, I don't know how to translate into English. It means their voice cannot be heard. So that's why they go higher level to have their voice to be heard. So it's a huge problem in China now, and the people all go to central government to 上访 to have their voice heard. So in US, there's no need to 上访. You can just talk to your local representative, and they will have your voice be heard.
And then we also have the media and everything, which helps. You can put a little pressure on them if they're saying, oh, that's on the back burner, I've got other stuff going on. The media picks up a story and, okay, your Congress a congressperson has to pay attention.
So in China, we call it maintain stability. That China, it says, okay, I don't know. They say spend more money on domestic stability than the military.
Wow. In China, they do?
This is what I heard. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah,
well,
but
maybe that has to do with the propaganda and everything too, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a huge money to be spent on this maintain stability of China. Okay. Now we know how it works. Okay. So in U.S., it's not the president says everyone says and the president says yeah, everyone says yeah. It's not like that.
No. What happens is, okay, the Congress, which is made up of the House and the Senate, they can propose laws. Okay, the president can also propose laws, and the government's set up so that no one branch has too much power. They all have to check. It's called checks and balances. They all have to check with each other. So the Congress can say no way to something that Trump wants to do. And he can veto stuff that they want to do. And then the judicial branch, the Supreme Court, what they do is after a law is made, they make sure that it doesn't violate the Constitution, and they make sure, and they interpret it depending on the case. So it's like specific for a case how it will be enforced.
So I just say this in Chinese a little bit. The 参议院、众议院大法官三权分立. So this is an American system. Okay, is Trump winning the election this time? Did he do well?
Actually, I think that he did. For being so outspoken, actually, I really feel that the results of the election, just the little bit that I know the day after, it's only the day after. It's really a few hours. It's like 12 hours, 13 hours, something like that. And I'm really impressed because, he maintained, the Republicans maintained control of the Senate, and that's his party, the Republican Party, but by 51% majority. Okay, not very much. It's slim.
The Senate is a place that can make big policies.
Well, in order to impeach the president,
later.
Okay. They can make policies, but it's just like the House of Representatives. It does have to pass through the president. The president can always veto it, and vice versa. So if he has, if he wants to do something and he gets a majority of the Senate saying, okay, yeah, we agree and we like this, and then basically he can't lose. He can do that. Even if 49% say, we hate this, don't do it, 51% wins.
Yeah. Okay. Many people says, "Oh, Trump lost. He lost the House." But you must understand, the American politics is always like that. In the whole history, I think also only twice or three times that the president can keep both. That is during the wartime.
Yeah.
Okay. In the peacetime, it is normally half-half. Okay. Why? Because the Americans, they want the balance. They don't want a dictatorship. They don't want someone can say yes to everything, right? So, but this time, why Trump did so good is that many people think Trump just a trash, right? Such a bad.
Apparently, about half of America. But still not the majority.
Okay, then he kept the senator, which is very important, the vitally important, and also he gets so many people to vote this time. Normally, people don't pay that much attention to a midterm election.
Yeah,
don't take that much attention for presidential election. Yes, they have like 60%.
Oh, because they campaigned for like 2 years before it as well.
But this time, for the midterm election, they almost reached 50%. Half of the people voted. That is actually happened only in the 1970s. almost like 40 years ago. The first time people get to vote means Trump got everybody excited.
Well, and what was it that I wanted to point out? Oh, you'll have to come back to me. Sorry.
Yes.
Something I was thinking of. This sweater's so itchy. Sorry. It keeps distracting me. But it's a little chilly today.
It's a nice color.
Is it?
Okay.
Okay.
So in this sense, and Trump, if he's that bad president, probably he would just, people just get rid of him. When Trump is such a bad character, he talk like that, behaves like that, and he has also this problem, that personal problems, but still people want him to be the president. I mean, that alone, I think he has done well.
Actually, what it shows me is that people don't want they don't want that old tired politician, fake politician anymore, and it shows in the results. For it's made headlines naturally for the people who have won governorships, because we were up for governor as well. Governors were up. They are the state representatives in their state. They're like the head of their state. Okay, and in the House of Representatives, and Senate, it's really impressive. Some people who have been in their seats for 40 years were unseated by newcomers who are really young and really forward thinking. We've got our first openly gay governor was elected, Colorado.
And lesbian.
and bi. She's bi, lesbian, bi, gay, trans. I can't remember if she's Congress. If she's not governor.
Okay, as we are already in this topic, let's go talk about.
Wait, one other thing I wanted to point out.
Yes.
Okay, that this tree. That people probably don't realize is that the Senate run every 6 years. So once they win, they're in there for 6 years, and they can run as many times as they want until they die. And for the House of Representatives, theirs is only 2 years, their term.
Okay.
And there's the same; they can run until they die.
Okay.
So I wanted to point out that it's 2 years and 6 years. It's not always that the Senate is up.
Okay.
The Senate is actually holds a longer position than the president.
参议院可以也连续执政6年，而且可以不断的选下去，而这个 House 这个众议院只能是2年，所以完全不是在一个档次上。Okay. Next is that you are already talking about gay and bi and those things. And is America a white country?
It is still a majority ethnically white.
As culturally?
Culturally, no. Culturally, it's all mixed. And actually, someone had said to me, or had commented on us that, white women don't want to have babies with, how he put it was colored men. We don't say that here, but anyway. And I looked up the stats, and 14% of U.S. babies are mixed race. That's so cool. That's so cool. And also, I had looked up, this will be outdated now, because now we have these elections, but the number of foreign-born politicians in the United States, and the list is long. You can look it up on Wikipedia, or I can put the link in. You can go look at it. It's really fascinating. It's a really long list. And we had our first 2 Muslim women
I'm going to stop here.
Elected.
You said 14% of the U.S. kids are mixed.
Yes. U.S. babies, born now.
So you're implying that you are willing to have a baby with a Asian guy, or
with a non-white guy? With a non-white guy.
We can talk at this another location, okay?
You're the one who brought it back. I was just talking about.
Yeah, okay. So now go on with this Muslim.
Okay. We have our first 2. Actually, they were the first. It would have been the first one, but we got 2 at the same time. Female Congress people, so 2 congresswomen from different states who, in the House, who are Muslim. One is the daughter of Palestinian immigrants, and the other is Oh, I'm sorry.
Oma.
No, yeah, but I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember what country she's from.
It's okay. It's okay.
She's a black woman.
Yes. Okay.
And she's from not Somalia. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
No disrespect meant. I can't remember because it's all new information. It's just really, to me, okay, we have our youngest congressperson ever. Is it Congress? Hang on.
29 years old.
Right, but I don't know if I'm sorry, it's Congress, but I can't remember if it's House or to New York.
Yeah.
New York, Sugar, Washington.
Well, she's good looking.
She ran. Okay, she's in addition. Look at her name. She's Hispanic. She's Hispanic, and she is 29 years old, and she ran with it. Women like me aren't supposed to run for office because she looks like a model. She's gorgeous.
Okay, it means that in America, regardless race, age, culture, gender, anyone,
where you're born, where your parents were born, doesn't matter. It's very cool.
You have a chance. Okay, if a 29...
You just can't be president if you weren't born here.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah. If a 29 years person in China in that position, that her father must be somebody, or her stepfather, he must be somebody's, kind of a daughter.
No, that's actually really insulting here. And if that does happen, it's called nepotism. And nepotism does happen naturally. It happens everywhere because everybody wants to help their own.
Nepotism means that 拼爹你有一个好爹. Okay, in China it's very popular. You know who my father is?
In Pakistan and Malaysia as well.
My father is who and who?
Yeah, who cares?
My stepfather. No, my 干爹. Okay, anyway.
Okay, there are certain kind of people that they would really be impressed by that, or they would really say, whoa, but there are other people that would do the same thing. The average person on the street would say, unless you're related to some reality star or some rap star or something, most of the time they would just be like, so?
Or Mac Jackson, Jackie, no, not Jackie Chan, no.
Jackie Chan.
No.
Jackie.
No, Jackie, okay?
He's so sweet. Come
Go on.
You guys should really, you should just put aside your differences.
And can people impeach him then? Because the Chinese community, they have big say, oh no, we won. They say, we won.
How did they win?
I don't say.
Did they vote?
They say, oh, Xi Jinping won. Now the American Republicans can impeach this president, and he has to go off office very soon.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the goals for the House is to do deeper investigation into Trump's tax issues and all of these other things. So they want to dive a little bit into his background before he was president. He has a lot of background. Anyway.
Of course, he's not a perfect person.
He never tried to be, I don't think. Anyway.
I don't think he wants to be.
But I think that's what a lot of people identify with him on that side too, because it's like, hey, everybody had a life before, and we're not perfect, and why should we try to be? Life would be really boring. Anyway, so
as far as he does the job.
As far as he does the job, as far as he takes care of the people, which we really do need more of.
Yes.
Thank you. And okay, so what you should know is that although they want these investigations, and yes, they want to ultimately lead to an impeachment, some people, not all, obviously not all, because the Senate, Republicans won the Senate. Now, in order for impeachment to actually go through and for him to be asked to step down, they would need 2/3 of Senate to vote for it. Everything is voted upon. Everything in this country is voted upon. Even inside a family. Where are we going to go? What movie are we going to see? Let's take a vote. And whoever has the most votes wins. So 2/3 of the Senate, how's that going to happen when 51% of the Senate is Republican? They are not going to vote to impeach him. It will not pass, and it will be a waste of time and resources to pursue an impeachment investigation. I agree with, because everyone should be accountable. If I've got to pay taxes, so does he. Okay? But what I'm saying, I'm not supporting Trump. I'm just saying that an impeachment is highly unlikely unless they found bodies buried in his backyard or something. You know what I'm saying? It would have to be something that's undeniably horrific for that 51% majority Republican Senate to go with the Democrats and vote to impeach. Okay. Two-thirds need to vote to impeach.
So you mean that technically it's not possible, almost not possible, for him to be impeached. Okay, so that's a good answer to those Chinese people. They're so sweet and naive, and they
just don't. You know what? Actually, most Americans don't even know how this works, because people are busy with their lives. They took this in high school, but then they forget it. Come on. Who remembers this stuff? It's just that I have a double degree and one of them's in political science, and it's not because I found it particularly interesting, but it's because while I was getting my degree in journalism, if I took a few more electives in political science, I could get a double degree. So I did it. So it's just 2 for 1.
Good on you.
Thank you.
Another saying that the Chinese people say, oh, we know that this and that, but we just want the American government not united, not like our central government. Our central government is united. Are you sure? Are you sure Chinese central government is united? I'm not sure. Anyway,
actually, I think it really goes against human nature for so many people to be united on everything, and I think that it has the possibility to go really wrong, because then other points of view are important.
Now the Republicans and Democrats, they hold different places, right? So the American government will fight each other, and Trump will be in trouble, so they won't have time dealing with China. So so first we'll leave China because that's a huge thing later, and we just say what kind of trouble Trump can get from the House.
From the House, the trouble that he can get is, like I was saying, they're calling for investigations into his tax and all of that.
How about his policy, like immigration, like health care?
Actually, yeah, the Democrats are for a more liberal immigration policy, or maintaining the way it is. In general, not all. It's not required. There's not like a list of Democrat and Republican stances, and you have to pick a side. There is a gray area as well for Republicans and for Democrats. So some Democrats agree with the Republicans on issues, and people don't realize that. Maybe people in China, I don't know if they understand that this is not black and white. The parties are not black and white, and the candidates do not represent, and the people, because the people are not like that. Okay, there are some things that I support that are traditionally Republican stances, and there are some things that a lot of things that I support that are traditionally Democrat. But I'll tell you that I'm not. I don't think I should say what I am, what my party is, but my party doesn't matter because I don't go and vote for my party.
Understand. I give this 2 points. Okay, first of all, in USA there is not only black and white, there is something between, which is we Chinese people are not so much used to, because we Chinese think either you are pro Xi Jinping or you're anti Xi Jinping. I said I'm staying middle. I just want his facts. Oh, so you are the grass on the wall, you go both ways. I said, yes, that's exactly I am. But that is supposed to be a very bad thing in China.
Why is it bad? You're using your brain if you do that.
Yes. Then I say it again. I am the grass on the wall, and I go like this. I'm in between. Okay, 墙头草. I'm 墙头草.
I have a feeling that the reason they say that is because people who do that, they put a negative slant on it and say that you go whichever is going to win. So if that one's going to win, you go with it. But it doesn't work that way. For me, and I think for most Americans, we don't care who wins. We are going to stand our ground with our beliefs. Okay, and a lot of the things, a lot of the referendums, a lot of the ideas that these lawmakers are standing for are moral. They're not necessarily about a $15 minimum wage that would impact, that won't impact me, okay, but that will impact my neighbors. And so that is a moral issue for me. It's not something that's going to directly affect me. But it affects the people that I know and I live around, and I want to see them have that.
Okay. The second point is that the differences between Senate and the House is more to do with domestic affairs. Okay, it's talking about something happening inside the U.S.
For the House, especially, the House deals with more domestic issues. Of course, they do have a say in international, definitely, but their job is to represent their district in their state. It's and it's to represent what the people want done, and it may be an international issue, but at the same time, what is the average person more concerned with? Their domestic issues at home. So that's why the House tends to concentrate or seem like they're more concentrated on domestic issues because they're representing individuals. The Senate are as well, but that's a lot more people. You can't just get to talk to your senator. It's more difficult than your congressperson. And the Senate does deal more directly with international issues.
Okay, now let's come back to the video we made yesterday.
One thing I just want to say real quick. Being in the House of Representatives is lower than being in the Senate. Okay, people generally go from some kind of local politician, very, very local, on a council or something like that, to Congress, to Senate, to President.
Okay. Yesterday we made the video, we talked about the consequence that could worsen the trade war between U.S. and China, exactly as we predicted. Okay, exactly now, the Democrats is in majority of the House. So, what will that impact China?
Just what we talked about was that the reason that Trump even started all of this with China, the trade war with China and the tariffs, is because he wanted to please the Democrats. Okay, because he wanted their support. Okay,
let me make a comments first, because Mercedes this morning just told me something I think is very important. What? That the senators, mostly of them are big business people.
Oh yeah, they're what we consider the 1%. I don't know if you've ever heard about that. I'm a 99%. I'm one of the 99%. 1% of people hold 99% of the wealth.
Okay. Of the money.
Of the money.
Okay. So they want to do business with China, actually.
Some of them, but see, they have the divisions as well because of intellectual property theft and things like that.
Yes.
So now they've been swayed.
Okay. So the senator, those people, they actually had very much business to do with China. The reason they want to stop now is that they feel that they are so much used. They have so much deficit. They want to have fair business. Okay, so they are more to do with money. Okay, but the Democrats,
money has always been in the back burner, at least after World War II. And it has always been about ideology, humanity, morals. Now Republicans, they are generally the conservatives, and they stand on the moral grounds of majority Christian. So they're very conservative, okay, and they have the traditional Christian values, 10 Commandments, all of that stuff. But the Democrats are more for human rights. Okay, they're not going to say, okay, because you're gay, you don't have human rights. No, everyone has human rights. Okay, 5-year-olds should not be working in rice fields. Okay, these are the things that Democrats see, and it horrifies them. They're called the bleeding heart liberals, and this is what they want to put an end to. And the way they see that happening, and that's just one of the issues, the way they see that happening is with tariffs. So they have the same solution, but to different problems they see with China.
Okay, so in a way that Trump's party is more to do with money, but the Democrats, which is Obama's party before, and this part is more to do with human rights, with ideology. Okay, so it means that Trump got both. Now Trump got both.
Yeah.
Before he just, I want money. Now you have to change your political system. You have to do human rights. You have to treat the people nice.
See, the Democrats weren't being listened to before, because big business and big money and the senators with Republican and making billions and billions a year, and they all make deals, and they let a law pass so that a company can dump toxic waste or whatever happens, and this happens. Okay, that was happening, but they were able to stomach it. Okay, they were able to say, okay, we're going to let this happen. But then China crossed a line that started cutting into their bottom line. It just crossed over and started hurting what they cared about most. So they saw they could join forces now, even though under different agendas, they could join forces, and now he's got the support of both. So honestly, please understand that it's
yes. On the China side, we can lose money. It's okay. If money can buy, our government will. But we could not afford to lose ideology. Our China characterized socialism is the best, is the model, is the future of the world. And this is the way Chinese characterized socialism, communism will conquer the world, will replace USA. For that, we cannot lose. We cannot afford to lose. So that means Democrats win the House is very bad for China.
very bad, because I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but I hope you have in your life, where you felt really passionate about either something that you love to do, or about an issue, or anything in your life that you felt passionate about. Now it's just been fueled. People already felt passionate about human rights, because it's a very emotional topic. But now that they've got a president who's supporting taking a big violator out, they become even more passionate, because now they see a light at the end of the tunnel, that something can actually be done. So this is they're not going to back off. They're going to get stronger. They're going to get more resistant to any kind of deals.
Now, the Chinese always say, in one side, they say, "Oh, we don't care. America doesn't do much to harm to us, and we are continuing our business with other countries and this and that, and we're still open, and we're still doing all this 开放改革 reform, this and that." But the midterm election is the hottest topic on the Chinese media and the Chinese people. They're so much concerned the American election. Okay, they expect American election will change their fate, will change their life.
It's not their country.
Okay,
They have to take care of what's going on there.
I look at this 2 points. One is a very good thing that the people have the concern, have the interest, okay, and they understand unconsciously or consciously that the huge influence of America towards China. This is one part. The second part is they don't realize is that they don't understand American politics. They understand American politics in their own way. They just think, oh, maybe this is, oh, maybe that. They don't understand this. Even I don't understand that much. I'm still learning, okay? The biggest issue is why they don't question themselves. Why we don't have the right to vote. Of course,
I can't answer that.
Of course, our great party represent everything. With 3 representatives, Jiang Zemin said, we represent the this and that. We represent the whole people. So we represent everyone. My party, my Communist Party.
Do you know anyone who's gone and talked to them recently and then got something to go through? Maybe some peasants who have, some hardship. Did they get to go talk to the representatives and get their issues addressed?
We send them a policeman.
And what's the policeman do?
Yes, policemen stay in their house and talk to them. Same like in Xinjiang, or when they have the meetings in Shanghai or in Guangzhou, they always people stay in everybody's house and talk to them.
Okay, and that comes with a good result?
Yeah, keep them company. Yeah.
Keep them company, yeah.
Yes.
With a good result, huh?
So
for the people.
So Chinese people are the happiest people in the world. Yes. Yes, we are. Okay.
It's okay.
Let's talk something else, okay? So, my brothers, sisters, and my brother Xi Jinping, okay, how long the Trump guy is going to go? He's old now.
He's not as old as Malaysia's prime minister.
So, he has another 2 years, right?
Yeah, in this term.
In this term. When it means that he could have another 4 years.
Yep. And actually, I don't know, he's said this a couple times where he's talking about Xi Jinping and he says, how he changed the Constitution and now he's in power for life until he wants to stop. Mm-hmm. And Trump said, that's a good idea. So people are kind of worried. And it's been going around that Trump may be the last president of the United States, meaning that he would make himself president for life. But that would violate our Constitution, and he would probably, his life wouldn't be very long if he did that. Put it that way. That's a horrible thing to say, but we have crazy people here too.
Thanks to God that in China it's different. So every president for life will be very long. We have a long, long, long life Chairman Mao, long, long, long life Chairman Xi. Okay, for 10,000 years. The 10,000, and 10,000 years.
So is this
life.
where they get reincarnated and then they get elected again? I'm sorry, not elected. How do they take power?
We don't believe in God. We don't believe in all those things.
How did Xi Jinping become? How did he become what is he, an emperor?
Chairman of the people.
How did that happen? Was he elected? Who chose him? He chose himself? I don't understand. I don't understand. How does it work?
I'm a musician. Ask me something about violins.
Where did he come from and how did he get to that position? Was he a congressman first? Or maybe he worked at the mayor's office in his hometown?
You asking me all these questions. If I could answer all your questions, I would be not yours. Okay, I would be. Anyway, what is the chance for China now? Okay, China, you want to fight with US, you have no chance. You don't fight with US, you have to give up, change your political system. But you fight with US, you're going to lose. So what is the best solution for China?
I don't know. They have to figure it out for themselves.
You're American, you should care for China.
I do care for China, but I think in caring for them, it's kind of like being a parent. You have to let people make their own mistakes. You have to let the kids make their own mistakes. You have to let them figure it out what works best for them.
I have the best solution. Okay, my brother Xi Jinping and all the Chinese government people listen. Either we change ourselves, then we have a very good face, or we get changed, then we don't have a very good face, or if we have a face at all by that time.
See, I don't agree with forced imposition of a form of government. I think it has to come from within, and I think it has to come from the people, because I think it's just like religion. Throughout the ages, conquerors have come through and then said, okay, now you're Christians. Okay, now you're Muslims. Okay, now you're this, you're that, you're that. And people have to do it because otherwise they're burned to death or whatever. But it never reaches the people. It has the opposite effect. And I think it's the same for a political system, because that is, believe it or not, on par with religion, because it's going to be a way that you make sure that your society works. Okay, so it is a fundamental element in life, in a country. It is so important that the political system works for those people and that they are satisfied with how it works. They have to be happy. I don't care if it's communism. I don't care if it's socialism. I don't care if it's democracy. The people have to want it.
Can I hug you?
Yes.
I mean, she deserves a hug. She made this point. The whole Chinese people listen, okay? It is not only the government. It is you. Are you ready to change? Even the government itself says, okay, we're willing to change. Are you ready?
No, see, the thing is, it's not even the government saying willing. It has to come from the people to do it. They are the ones, because they're the ones who are going to make sure that whatever form they want happens. And I'm sure, I know for a fact that there are really, really intelligent people in China who have already even worked all of this out, exactly what it would take. And they can work with other intelligent people in China, not outsiders, to figure out what works best for China, because China has a massive population and a huge amount of land with multiple borders. They've got many different issues than a country like the United States or the UK or Australia have. Their issues are unique to them. So they need a system that works for them. And the best ones to figure that out are Chinese people.
Thank you. Thank you. I cannot represent the Chinese people, but I can represent myself. Thank you, U.S. lady. You are my first lady and my last lady. Thank you so much. I need a kiss.
Your cheek still hurt?
I got a little electric shock.
Oh.
Yes.